It's no secret that I have an issue with Magic the Gathering repacks. YouTubers faking openings to sellers faking openings by preloading packs for known YouTubers, dishonest sellers on eBay, promising a chance at a huge payoff with no real way to actually police them. Magic card repacks are a virtual orgy of misleading tactics, at best, outright lies, and at worst, scams where only you, the customer, loses. A lot of folks have told me, hey, I know it's a gamble, but so what? And to them I say, a fool and their money are soon parted. You're forfeiting your hard-earned money willingly, and that's your right. But the problem is, many folks go into this more blindly. The default setting for most Magic players seem to be trusting, and that's a good thing. But this is also a situation ripe to be taken advantage of. eBay grab bags are at best a scam people willingly enter, but it's my assertion that they're in fact far worse. They are a form of illegal gambling that eBay continues to allow happen. All right, well, there are three main events that have kind of shaped my opinion about repacks. And at first, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, they weren't really this thing that had basically turned into a lottery. They started out as a bad investment for people to dump bulk, but now they've morphed into this lottery. And there's enough blame to go around on all sides here. Let's start with one of the first issues I had. And this is actually back maybe a year ago. And what we had is a YouTuber with more than 100,000 subscribers just happening to open a Black Lotus in their grab bag that they had bought from another Magic YouTuber. Now, if that alone doesn't already kind of tell you that, something's pretty sketch here, you can see based on the like and dislike ratio that most people see right through the scam. This guy also happens, if you look at his links in the description, the very first link is where to buy them, which why would I ever do that, right? Unless it was an affiliate link. And then the second one is a link to his website where he sells his own product. So hypothetically, okay, let me paint a picture that I think happened here. It's hypothetical, of course. Two YouTubers talk about, hey, let's do a video that's going to get a ton of views. You're going to sell a bunch of grab bags, and then you can sell a bunch of your deck boxes. That's one option. Maybe the other option is the seller, who in this case happened to be a former Magic YouTuber, decided to preload this, knowing that it would get a ton of views because it was a YouTuber. Now, I don't know exactly what happens, but in my opinion, it's going to be impossible for you to convince me that this wasn't staged by one or both of these YouTubers. Let's go. Let's just point out a few things here.
I obviously got rid of my name. Don't worry about it. So what these are grab bags. So for me,
so he basically spends the first 30 seconds. He spends the first 30 seconds shilling this product. Something. Why would you do that if you just happen to have purchased this, right?
Dariums. And so yeah.
Well, let's skip through.
It's there's like this whatever. Let's see what we got. So.
He actually curses a bunch in this video, which is annoying because I don't really want to have that stuff. But he just happens to, in his very first repack.
We'll put it in the box, okay? Because I build these things,
yeah.
So we'll see what's
boom.
Okay.
That is a subtle. That is an important thing, right? He's taking the time to shill his deck boxes in this video. Now, I don't watch this guy. I never really heard of him, but to me, it's pretty clear that it's awfully convenient that, you're reminding everyone that, hey, you sell these deck boxes. I doubt he does this in every single video, but maybe he does. But he ends up opening a flooded strand. Okay, here we go. Now let's watch this section, okay?
Let's go for this last one, all right? So this will be pretty sweet. I'm actually looking forward to this one a lot.
Why would he be looking forward to that one a lot? Now you might say, hey, he's just excited. It's just any one of these things, like somebody actually opening a Black Lotus or a YouTuber opening a repack, any one of these things in and of itself would be, you could dismiss as, dumb luck. But when you start to stack all these things together, it starts to be incredibly unbelievable. And, why would you say, well, actually this one, I'm actually looking forward to, right?
Okay, so we've got...
And it's all junk. And then he opens a redemption card for Black Lotus. Now, I'm going to mute him because his reaction is also really fake to me. Like, he's kind of happy, but, I mean, this whole thing... Like, I just happen to have all this stuff around. I'm going to drink. I'm not going to stop recording. Like, this is obviously staged, right? I'm going to put this in my deck box. I'm faking the shake. Just watch the video for yourself. This video is, in my opinion, 100% baloney. You can argue with me all you want about it, but really... obviously it's impossible to have a smoking gun with this sort of thing. But, at best, the seller of this repack knew that this YouTuber had a large audience and then sent them the card. But at worst, they conspired together to help each other and screw over hundreds of people who then bought these repacks. Now, the second issue that... kind of paramount issue that really drove me to try and put this all together and expose this illegal gambling baloney is a repack seller. When I exposed another YouTuber as faking their repacks, I had many sellers actually reach out to me. And this one in particular shared some very interesting information. Now, I've always said... I guarantee that there are trustworthy sellers who sell repacks. I guarantee there are trustworthy YouTubers who open repacks. The problem is there's no reasonable way to tell them apart. So let's go through the conversation I had with this seller. So I'm sure people reach out to you. I cut out my stuff, but if I had to, I could provide this original conversation. It's still on my Facebook. I've protected the seller's name here because I'm hoping that, one, if they're just trying to get promotion, they're not going to get it. Two, if they're one of the good ones, then why would I want to bring them into this? I'm sure people have reached out to you. This is legit, not pulling your leg. Happened twice to me. The first time was much more aggressive, and the second time was much more subtle. My thing is, I do sell cards. He has a huge influence in the YouTube community, or in the community. He will know it's me for sure. I can see backlash in the manner, and that's how I know it can come back to me. I ask, so basically what this seller was telling me is a YouTuber who opens repacks on YouTube would reach out to him, and basically it started out as like, hey, we can help each other out if you send me a good repack. And, you'll get a lot of people to buy your stuff. And then it became more subtle, like, hey, I have a YouTube channel, and this is what I do. So basically, if you read between the lines here, what the YouTuber is saying to the seller is like, look, it's not that much of a leap for the seller to, or for this YouTuber to be saying, like, basically, hey, just make sure my repack's good because I'm going to be recording it, right? I just had done this to others, blah, blah, blah. The seller said, without a doubt, he has done this to others. To think otherwise would be naive. On its face, it doesn't appear as such a horrible thing, but when you think about being in the seller's position, it puts you in a vulnerable spot. I see the channel growing, and I just don't want people to be influenced by someone who's not going about things in the right way. Not to mention the many claims that he's made that he's never done such a thing. You think he just pulled the emerald on the first try? Of course it's possible, but knowing what I know exactly what happened. Maybe other sellers will be willing to come forward, would make it much easier for me. Don't get me wrong, he was nice enough, but when you look deeper, it's just wrong. Clearly a bit upset. My apologies. I spoke to this seller at length, and they actually kind of backed off. They didn't, I get it. This seller probably, I'm hoping, is one of the good ones and doesn't want to be associated whistleblowing on this YouTuber. I know who the YouTuber is, but I don't think there's any point in, he later told me who it was, but this isn't about specific YouTubers. This isn't about certain repack sellers. This is about people using magic cards to run illegal lotteries on YouTube, and it's getting out of control. And there are a lot of technical details here that I will hopefully show you and explain what actually makes this illegal. The third major incident in my life that has made me really dig deeper on these repacks is simply having another MTG YouTuber get caught red-handed faking repacks. And thus, that kind of completes the circle of guilt. We have scummy sellers, we have scummy YouTubers, and we have a product that shouldn't exist. When you look at a lot of these listings, you can see exactly how they're selling them, right? Oh, repacks, Black Lotus, 6 Snapcaster Mages. Here's a repack, Power 9 Grab Bag. This one is literally, actually, I should probably put it on the screen for you. We have repacks here, but what do they show? Pictures of Power. Here, this one has sold 2,000 of these at $7.49. And no are odds posted or anything like that. 231 sold. And the word lottery is literally in the listing, which by definition is illegal. Repack. MTG repacks, 40 dual lands, 650 lottery tickets sold. 2,000 lottery tickets sold. I mean, look at this guy. He gets it. He's just going all the way, charging $80 for his lottery tickets. And he sold 200 of them. That is insane. Tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars have been exchanged on this illegal gambling product on eBay. And they're using magic cards to make it happen. 1,769 sold. I mean, it goes on and on and on. 2,300 sold. Only 8 product ratings. Interesting, right? Some of these people in their listings actually threaten to report buyers who leave negative feedback for getting junk cards. I want to summarize things a little bit. We can't trust YouTubers who are opening repacks because we don't know if the seller purposely sent them a better repack because they tried exerting some level of influence, or because the seller wanted more press for their repacks. You can't trust the sellers because there's no governing body here actually making sure that the seller is on the up and up, that the seller is even giving away these Power 9 cards or expensive dual lands that they're promising. There's simply no way to police this. People like to say they watch these videos, it's purely for entertainment, and that's okay. But let me ask you this. If there wasn't a promise of some crazy pull, would it be as entertaining? Of course not. If you knew that the YouTuber packed their own repacks or exerted influence on repack sellers to get better than normal repacks, would it be as entertaining? I highly doubt it. There's actually a really strong argument that this is an unregulated lottery, and it shouldn't be allowed to exist in the first place. Let me go through what I think is the evidence of this, okay? I'm not a lawyer, obviously, but things seem pretty cut and dry to me. The lottery has three parts: prize, consideration, which is payment, and a distribution of prize by chance. Let me say that again. Prize of Black Lotus, maybe. Consideration, maybe $7.99 for a repack. And prize by chance. This is the definition of repacks. Now, general repacks are probably within the letter of the law. Maybe not the spirit of it, but the ones where they purposely put a card of known value as the prize, they are creating precisely this, a lottery. Now, the reason Wizards of the Coast gets around it is because the cards go into the packs and they don't have any value. They're just selling pieces of cardboard to you. They're not saying, it's definitely in a gray area, but from what I understand is the fact that, the value of the cards is determined by the secondary market. And so it's not really a prize in the traditional sense. The thing is, sellers of these repacks don't benefit from the same ambiguity of Wizards of the Coast because they're specifically taking a card of a known value, providing you some odds in exchange for money that you can win by some amount of chance, right? The problem is we don't know if the cards are ever given out, right? I would be willing to bet many of them are not. We don't know if the YouTubers opening them are faking them. We don't know if the YouTubers making these videos are also selling them, like in the first example I gave you. I've reached out to eBay. I've reported listings, but who knows what really is going to happen from that. Hopefully, this video can gain enough traction. People can share it around. And you know what? If you disagree, let me know in the comment section down below. I think it's pretty cut and dry that these are a lottery. And what makes a lottery, you can argue whether or not lotteries are like fair, because I think they're taxation on the poor and they're taxation on the less intelligent in general. However, I still play them sometimes. What makes it illegal is an individual cannot profit from lotteries. They're all government run because they all have to be regulated. There has to be somebody, a governing body, looking at these things and making sure that everything's on the up and up, that this Black Lotus is actually getting distributed. That's why on the back of a lottery ticket, there's pre-printed odds. There's governing bodies that protect people. But now we have as high as $80 lottery tickets for sale on eBay, and this is getting out of control. Everyone has the same exact, there's a reason all these, look at every one of these backgrounds seem exactly the same. This guy here, this one's the same, MTG Bulk. This is MTG Bulk. Seems like they have a lot of the lotteries running. This guy's selling the high stakes lottery. This stuff goes for pages. It is completely infested eBay, and it needs to go away because so many people are buying these thinking that they're going to get a scalding tarn. But we don't even know if this person ever put a scalding tarn in there, and they've sold 600 of them at $10 each. It's one thing if you just sell a repack. I'm actually fine with those existing. But when you have known odds and you advertise something of a known value, what you have is an individual profiting from a lottery, which is 100% illegal. These need to get off eBay immediately. And I know a lot of people are going to probably be salty about this, but I have to use my platform to do what I think is best. I have to use my platform to expose this kind of garbage. Most of these people probably aren't even Magic players. They're just people that figured out that Magic cards are an unregulated market and they can use them to steal your money. It's time to stop.